Hey everybody, Jonathan Willis here. Let's talk tourniquets. I have been pretty vocal about most of the tourniquets available on the market today. And a couple of years ago, I was quite vocal about the Snakestaff offerings. And I was unapologetically critical of these two tourniquets. Probably about a year ago, I saw what was coming with the Gen 2 offerings. And because I'm a person who insists upon calling out progress, and anytime someone's going to make improvements, I want to be honest about the observations I see. And I saw that Ben Griffith and the team over at Snakestaff really was coming out with some great improvements with the Snakestaff Gen 2 offerings. So I dove in, I actually reached out to Ben, and he supplied me with a lot of samples of the Gen 2 in the EDC version and the wide version. And I've put them through their paces a good bit. And what my initial impressions were, just from seeing them online, from their drop, what I'd seen online, and getting hands on them, I'm pretty impressed with what they've done. Just to clarify with where I'm at before I even tell you about kind of where my mindset is I'm just flat out I'm not endorsing the EDC, the 1-inch wide variant at all, because I think the kind of the value proposition of it being small and carry, or the small form factor, I don't see it as the value add that a lot of people think it is. So I don't buy into that as a value add, especially when you look at the very small form factor that you can bring a cat to with techniques like my flat pack method with a cat, or the very small form factor that you can get a soft T wide into, or even the extraordinarily small form factor that a Snakestaff Gen 2 wide can be dropped into. When you look at, you have the sleeve that a Snakestaff Gen 2 wide can be placed into. I just don't see that the EDC version of the Snakestaff in the first generation or the second generation really needs to be the thing that it needs to be. So, and then you have the clinical discussions that people get into, and the disagreements that people get into of the 1-inch wide versus the 1.5-inch wide, and the findings there. Now, what I will say about the Gen 2s versus the Gen 1s in any Snakestaff, be it the EDC or the wide, the Gen 2 versus the Gen 1 is a quantum leap in quality. And if you're carrying a Gen 1 Snakestaff in either variant, you need to immediately upgrade to the Gen 2, period. The windlass is vastly superior. The Velcro material is vastly superior. The back plate, the gate, and everything associated with it is vastly superior in the Gen 2 variant. So if you choose to carry the EDC version of the Snakestaff, if you choose to carry the the Snakestaff wide variant, and you're still carrying the Gen 1, you should look at upgrading to the Gen 2. Because what I've found in the Gen 2, and I'm going to specifically focus on the Gen 2 Snakestaff wide, because what I've found in this tourniquet, I have to say I'm extremely impressed with. This has become a tourniquet that I'm incredibly impressed with. The gate compared to, where's my first one? The gate and the materials are vastly superior. The windlass, here's the original windlass. The new windlass has this triangular shape that no matter how you apply force, it ends up being, it kind of goes linear in your hand, so you're applying force to a flat surface no matter how you hold it. So the windlass has been dramatically improved. You see it's kind of a triangular, I don't know if it's picking up, but it's kind of a triangular shape all around. The windlass design is outstanding. It's kind of like the offset oar pitch, if you're familiar with kayaking, and it flat out works. It really works. If you look at also the material, they have significantly improved the material to where if it touches itself, it doesn't bind. Well, I mean, if you squeeze anything too tight, it'll bind, but it doesn't bind as much. Whereas the first one, if it ever touched itself, it was stuck to itself. Like in any way, shape, or form, if it touched, it was going to be bound up like that. And the new material is significantly denser, where you pull it in any way, and it completely comes apart like that. So I'm hugely impressed with it. Also, if you look at the back plate of both these tourniquets, I'll kind of expose them so you can see them. The back plate is significantly larger. So let me just take this out so you can see it completely. Take both of these out. And this will show you another part that's a vast improvement. So back plate to back plate, the back plates have been is improved. It's bigger and it's a better material. It's just a better design now. Also, you don't have this stupid glow stick that was in the first one that I joked that people thought was a level and would have been about as useful if it was a level. So they ditched that. The Gen 2 doesn't have the stupid level / glow light. That was just a silly thing. I'm having super quick occlusion in application with this wide. I'm showing you it folded up. The form factor on it is outstanding, and I'm about to tell you the truth. So here's the form factor compared to my flat pack cat tourniquet. So very, very small comparatively. Here's the soft T next to it. And this tourniquet is performing. Now, does it have the track record that the cat or the soft T has? No, it doesn't. Are we going to see, a lot of people are going to have the objection that it's not Committee on TCCC recommended. And will that ever be a thing again? That may not ever be a thing again. So it's hard to say that, or it's hard to sit back and wait for that recommendation to ever happen. So we can't necessarily rely on that as the way to judge whether a tourniquet is going to be valid or not. There are a lot of other tourniquets out there that have gone through the Committee on TCCC process. I see people trying to EDC this, and the TX2 is a highly effective tourniquet, but compared to a properly flat packed cat or a properly flat packed soft T, I've just not found the practicality and carry of this tourniquet. So this is an individual choice. Now, I just wanted to put out a little bit of information on this tourniquet that compared to its original version, compared to this original thing that I absolutely hated, I just had to be honest with kind of where I was at with this. This tourniquet is an absolutely viable option in the life-saving environment. I've been impressed with it. What do I carry every day? I still carry a cat tourniquet every day of my life. I have one on my person right now, and I will carry one on my person for the indefinite future. But this is a viable option. In rapid application to self and others, to self, I actually like this better than this. This is my favorite in self-application in training. The cat is my favorite, period. If it comes down to, in a training environment, if I had my druthers between the Soft T and the Snakestaff Wide Gen 2, not Gen 1, but the Gen 2, I like the Gen 2 Snakestaff actually better than the Soft T Wide. I know people are going to come for me over that. I don't care. And when you put in the reps and you put in the work, then you can tell me differently. But that's what I think. I'm not telling people to go out and go for this narrow stuff. That's not what I'm about. I firmly believe that this is getting the job done. I'm seeing occlusion rapidly. Do the test yourself. If all you have is a pulse oximeter, run the test yourself. Put yourself on a put your pulse oximeter on, run all the tourniquets you have, and see what happens. Do the test and check it out. But what I'm seeing in the Snakestaff Gen 2 Wide is some serious progress. I really do like this product. So that's where I'm at. When I put Snakestaff on blast a couple of years ago, I know that I had to kind of think about where I was, and then I saw the progress that was attempting to be made. So I in all sincerity, reached out to Ben, and Ben is a mature enough and a humble enough dude that he took my messages, and we've now opened a line of communication that I can call the dude a friend and say that Ben and his team at Snakestaff have taken a super sincere approach to improvement and life-saving, and they're doing good work. So I see that as a great thing. There's room in the market for improvement, because there's obviously been room in the market for redundancy in products, and there's a lot of products out there that I see as trash. There's a lot of products out there that have been recommended by the Committee on TCCC that I see as doo-doo, and there are absolutely products that are Committee on TCCC recommended that can't hold a candle to this tourniquet right here. So take a look at it, and I highly suggest picking it up and run it through your tests. If you think it sucks, then you think it sucks, but I think it's a good product. Take a look at it. But most importantly, get some training, carry your kit, and be ready to save a life. Have a good day.